Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I got Nate and Noah here with me again this week. Nate's gonna hit us with some movie news, and then we're gonna get into our lovely movie for this week.
Yep. Movie news as per usual. Started off one that I'm not too excited about, but it's news. So Wonka 2 is in development right now. Timothy Chalamet obviously coming back.
Holy shit!
Wow, man, so hyped.
I'm so excited for Wonka 2.
Hey, Wonka 1 wasn't a good movie, or I don't know. It wasn't horrible.
It was pretty bad.
Hugh Grant was funny in it. That's about it.
Hugh Grant wasn't even funny in it. He was just there because he wanted a paycheck.
No, he was funny in it because you could tell he was miserable and wanted to kill himself.
All right. Macaulay Culkin has
saw this.
Macaulay Culkin has been cast in Fallout Season 2. And I think this is the first acting credit he's going to have since he was a child, honestly.
No, he was in he was in something in like 2009. Let me look.
Yeah. What London Tipton's husband is going to be in Fallout Season 2.
Hell yeah. No, he's been in a few things. Like he'll show up every few years. He was on the Jim Gaffigan show. He did some American Horror Story a few years ago. Like he'll show up. He does a few things. He was in Righteous Gemstones for a few episodes. He does some things.
I guess. But he was in Will and Grace. I didn't know that.
Yes, I do remember that. Vaguely.
All right. Anyways. So yeah, Macaulay Culkin. I still haven't seen Fallout Season 1, but I'm definitely going to watch
It's
it
good.
now.
It's good.
I've heard it's good. I just haven't had the time to sit down and watch it.
That's fair. You're also not a big fan of like the games, are you?
I have never played a single game.
Mm-hmm. They're good. They're not super faithful to the games, but
that might get me crucified in the comments if we get any, but I have never played Fallout. And I don't plan on it either.
You should. You should play at least New Vegas at some point.
Maybe. Moving on. One of my favorite animated movies of all time is unfortunately getting a live-action remake, and it's How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh. Well, it's not a Disney live action remake, so it might be all right.
It's still a live-action remake of a great animated series.
Are you going to be excited when they cast Timothy Chalamet to play the main character?
If Timothy Chalamet plays Hiccup, I'm not watching it.
You know what's funny? It's entirely possible because they look pretty similar.
I know, and now I'm scared for it.
No,
yeah,
dude,
it's definitely happening.
They got to go back in time and get 2012 Andrew Garfield to play Hiccup.
Dude, honestly, Andrew Garfield now could probably play Hiccup.
I mean, yeah, he doesn't look that much. I mean,
he's too old at this point. He's 40.
I mean, they can de-age him a little bit. He's cool.
Yeah, they can de-age him if they need to.
Also, since we're talking about Andrew Garfield, and I won't get a time to shout this out forever, probably go watch Tick Tick Boom. Great movie.
Hell yes.
We'll do a musical month at some point. We'll cover it.
Maybe. Yeah. So How to Train Your Dragon live action. They're gonna ruin one of the greatest animated movies of all time.
Yeah, probably.
I just hope they keep the original score.
They probably will. I don't know why they wouldn't.
Just because it's a stupid live action remake.
I can't wait till they get. I can't wait till they get the super bad cast together for that movie because Christopher Mintz-Plasse and Jonah Hill are both in How to Train Your Dragon 1.
That would be really funny.
I'm actually wearing my McLovin shirt right now.
It's not even. It's gonna be the This Is the End cast because God, what's the dude's name? Jay Baruchel.
Oh my!
He voices Hiccup.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know this guy.
So yeah, it'll be This Is the End all over again.
Yeah.
And moving on from that, Amazon is working on a Mass Effect TV series, which is probably going to be terrible.
Yep, we know what happened with Halo.
Wasn't that Apple TV?
Yeah, but like, same thing. You know?
Fair enough. I
But you
haven't
said
played Mass Effect, so
you said Amazon's making it?
yeah, so it could be good.
Yeah, I actually completely retract my statement. Amazon made Fallout. Fallout was good, so Mass Effect might be all right.
They also made The Boys, which is fantastic.
And Gen V, which I don't know if you have it in your notes right there, but season 2 just wrapped.
Yeah, I saw that last week, and I was like, I don't really care.
Rest in peace, Chance Perdomo.
Rest in peace. Moving on from that, Disney, unfortunately, is causing Star Wars Episode 10 through 12.
Disney threatens to release Star Wars.
Disney threatens to release Star Wars. Yeah, and if Noah is a witness, he just recently rewatched all the Disney Star Wars movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have high hopes for this.
Mm-mm.
Because I also saw in this same little blurb that Daisy Ridley as Rey is going to be the Obi-Wan Kenobi new trilogy.
Well, hopefully that means
my
she
Lord.
dies. Not the
Not
actress.
Daisy Ridley. No,
Yeah.
Daisy Ridley is great.
Daisy Ridley's
Daisy
cool.
Ridley, Daisy Ridley's cool. She just got a bunch of second graders with crayons shoved up their nose writing for her.
Yeah.
Which, funny enough, is the case with pretty much the entire cast of those movies. Adam Driver's awesome, John Boyega's awesome, Daisy Ridley's awesome, and they all are stupid and suck in those movies because those movies are stupid and suck.
Mm-hmm.
I will never forgive Disney for wasting Oscar Isaac like that.
Or Adam Driver, he's awesome.
Yeah, I thought Adam Driver or Kylo Ren was the only good thing they did in those movies.
That's fair. But I also think part of that was just Adam Driver being awesome.
That could be true. But yeah, Disney is threatening to release episode 10 through 12 of Star Wars. And yeah, moving on from that, the Michael Jackson biopic titled Just Michael has been delayed until October of 2025.
Really?
Yeah, so maybe they're. I mean, usually when I see a movie's been delayed, that's usually a good thing in my eyes.
Unless it's Blade.
Yeah, unless it's Blade. But yeah, so I'll probably see that when it comes to streaming next year. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
like overly excited about it, but I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten I don't want to say recently, because like biopics have normally there's been consistently good ones throughout time, like Walk the Line and Ray. But like Bohemian Rhapsody was good, even if it was kind of inaccurate. Elvis was all right, and I mean, like we get good biopics, so it's not completely out of the realm of possibility they'll be good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a biopic. It's based off true events. As long as the acting's good and the script isn't terrible, it'll be a solid movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's been delayed till October 3rd, 2025.
Ooh, that is 2 days before my birthday. Heck yeah.
Moving on from that, Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid himself, will be getting a Hollywood star on the Walk of Fame.
Good for him.
Yeah, honestly, good. It's been a good year for my childhood actors. First Ewan McGregor, now Ralph Macchio.
Yeah. I feel like there was another one that was like a big childhood
Yeah,
actor.
I just don't remember who it was. Couldn't have been that big.
Dude, I hope fucking Mr. Miyagi's there to present it to him.
Boy, do I have news for you.
This isn't the Miyagi-Do way.
Mr. Miyagi died before I was born.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware. Cobra Kai is just so cringy.
It is, but I still love it, and I watch every episode.
I don't, but I'll check. I check up on it occasionally. I don't hate it.
I loved the Karate Kid growing up, so I always go back and watch it when it releases.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, I think the second half of this season is releasing soon.
Ooh.
I don't know the date. That's just something I remembered. So we'll add that to our movie news for the week.
Yeah.
JFK director Oliver Stone has been discussing making a Trump assassination attempt film.
I thought you were gonna say he's been talking about making a Trump assassination. I'm like, that sounds good.
I was just say, hello, Secret Service.
Hello, Oliver Stone. Please, please report to the principal's office.
That's crazy.
Please
Yeah,
report to the principal's office.
I have not seen JFK, so I don't know if it's good or not.
I watched it.
It's pretty mind blowing.
Oh boy!
I
Well,
watched it. I watched it junior year in forensics class.
they made you analyze the fucking JFK
boy.
assassination
No,
in forensics class.
Wait, yeah. Did you have to watch the video where he gets shot?
Yeah, like 20 times.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this podcast, shout out Mr. Larson, my high school forensics and physics teacher. Dude is the biggest JFK like CIA assassination truther I've ever seen. We spent 40 weeks in a 3-week segment in forensics class talking about the JFK assassination. And he also thinks dinosaurs are still living in Africa.
All right. Well, we're gonna move on from that. But yeah, he's made some pretty good movies. Yeah,
he made the shitty Doors movie.
Well, he also made Platoon and Snowden and World Trade Center.
And Nixon.
Yeah, Nixon. He made W, which was the George W. Bush biopic. He made Scarface.
He did?
Yeah, Oliver Stone did Scarface.
He was a writer.
Well, yeah, but he was still an integral part of making Scarface.
Yeah. He did Natural Born Killers, which is that Woody Harrelson movie.
Yes, he did. I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's pretty good.
I haven't seen it either.
All right, moving on from good old Oliver Stone going to the principal's office. There is a new Pirates of the Caribbean film rumored to start filming in 2026, and there's no Johnny Depp.
Well, then I don't care.
I also don't care. But Ryan, I'm gonna let you take over this last one here because you are, as our horror movie expert, you are the most qualified person to talk about this man.
I also was the most distraught when I found this out while I was playing Fortnite last night. Tony Todd, which he's done a lot of things in the horror sphere, especially. If you don't know, he was Candyman in the original Candyman movies. He was also William Bloodworth in the Final Destination movies. And for you two video game heads, he played in Spider-Man 2, he was Venom in the new one that came out, and he was Admiral Tommy Briggs in Black Ops 2. And I know Nate's gonna mention it if I don't. He played Zoom in The Flash.
He sure did.
And he also played, there was another one. He was Kern in Star Trek. So he did a lot of shit. Like, very famous actor. I don't currently know. I'll see if I can look. I don't know what he passed away from. He died at his home on November 6th, 4 weeks before his 70th birthday. Yep. November 6th. Rest in peace, Tony Todd, the GOAT.
He was also apparently he played the Fallen in Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen.
Did he get his revenge? I don't think I watched that one.
You know what? He did not get his revenge, unfortunately.
What the fuck?
Clickbait title.
According to Google, he just died of natural causes.
Yeah.
So yeah, rest in peace, Tony Todd.
Go.
Dude, what a terrible year for actors dying.
Yeah, they all happened once we started this podcast too, which is kind of telling me.
Yeah.
I think it started with James Earl Jones, I believe.
Yeah, and then we had a run of like 3 and 4 weeks.
Yeah, it was James Earl Jones, Maggie Smith, Ken Page, now Tony Todd.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, a lot of legends.
So I was just looking up just like some people who have a star on the Walk of Fame. But apparently DJ Khaled has one.
All right, so never mind. That doesn't mean shit anymore.
Yeah,
Ralph Macchio, you're
they just be giving it to everybody, bro.
You know who should have a star if he doesn't already?
Ryan Fink.
No, well, yes, and Noah Monahan and myself.
Yes.
But J.K. Simmons should have a star. Which, speaking of J.K. Simmons,
if J.K. Simmons doesn't have one and DJ Khaled does, then there's something very wrong. Let me look this up.
I'm already on it right now. Oh, he's an S, not J.
He does not. What the hell?
all right, so we need to rectify this.
Okay, man.
J.K. Simmons is way too good of an actor to not have.
What? They gave it to freaking DJ Khaled, but they don't give it to J.K. Simmons, bro. Okay.
Hey, but the Simpsons have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, so we're all good.
That's
cool.
We're
not all good.
We're not all good. Replace DJ Khaled's star with freaking J.K. Simmons, bro.
I agree.
J.K. Simmons is the farmer's insurance guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's like the fifth most important thing he's done. There's also in Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in La La Land, Juno.
Oh, I forgot he was the dad in Juno. That movie's so good.
He's also talented, and DJ Khaled is not.
Like I'm looking at his filmography right now, just because it is insane that he is not on the Walk of Fame.
Yeah, they got like thousands of people on there, though. Not J.K.
2,794.
Yeah, and not one of them was J.K. Simmons. Like, what?
He plays the yellow M&M.
Mm-hmm. You didn't know that?
He's Spider-Man. Oh, I'm just listing off some of his credits. He played Dale Earnhardt's dad in the Dale Earnhardt story.
You mean Dale Earnhardt?
No, the wrong Dale. You're thinking of Junior.
Oh.
Let's see what else. Yep.
Oh,
Spider-Man again.
Ralph Earnhardt. Hell yeah.
Yes. Juno. Let's see. I Love You, Man, which is hilarious.
I love when he played Juno in hit movie Juno.
He was in Law and Order for like 50, 60 episodes.
Yeah, he plays oh dude, I forget what he is. I think he's like a psychologist.
Yeah. Emil Skoda is his character's name.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Megamind. He was in True Grit. He was in Portal 2. He voiced in Portal 2.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What else we got here? Whiplash, of course. Parks and Rec.
Really? Whiplash? I didn't know he was in this movie.
He was in Avatar.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys. We're gonna give it to DJ Khaled, but not fucking J.K. Simmons.
He voices,
I just don't see the problem, guys.
Nate, he voices Tenzin, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, he does.
Which is based.
Which, granted, that's in the shitty Avatar spinoff, but
Dude, I didn't know how many famous people were in Avatar. Ron Perlman was.
Mark Hamill is literally the main villain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was in Kung Fu Panda. He was in Gravity Falls. He was in La La Land.
What are you playing Gravity Falls?
He played Ford Pines, the twin brother.
Yeah.
He was in SpongeBob.
Also,
he played Commissioner Gordon for God's sake. Yeah, granted, it was in the shitty Justice League movie, but still.
Just want to mention it. He's fucking jacked.
Yeah, he is ripped.
This is no longer a movie podcast. This is a I love J.K. Simmons podcast where we talk about all things J.K. Simmons.
He's in Ghostbusters. Oh my god. He's Omni-Man, for God's sake. Get this
Did you
man
not
a
know that?
fucking star. No, I do. I'm getting upset that he doesn't have a star now. All right. Before I get too upset, let's talk about a good movie with a guy that should have a star in the Walk of Fame.
Yeah,
Two guys.
we're talking about Whiplash today, guys. If you couldn't tell already, if we didn't say that.
No, I think you're dragging here.
Nuh-uh. Yeah, guys, we're dragging with this episode. It took us 20 minutes to finally get to the actual movie.
It's okay. We have to make the episode longer than the movie.
You're not quite my tempo right now, no.
Shut up, Fletcher.
Not quite my tempo.
Do you know why I threw a chair at your head, Neiman?
Because you didn't like how I played?
I don't know. Sure you do.
Hey guys, welcome back to the episode where we read the entire script of Whiplash.
Yeah.
Sorry. So you know how we said we were going to talk about Whiplash? We're actually just going to quote Fletcher the entire episode.
Yeah. So I think we can just start this off kind of with our general thoughts like we usually do. So if anyone wants to go. Yeah. So either Ryan or Nate if you want to.
Nate, you got it.
No, you got it. I want to hear your thoughts first.
It's a great movie. I think it incorporates sound really well.
Share your real thoughts. We know you hate this movie.
I think this movie's awesome. Way better than that piece of shit movie we watched last week.
You shut your goddamn mouth.
No, this movie's great. I think it incorporates sound really well. It's made by a pretty I don't want to say first time director, but he was a pretty young director at the time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Did this movie start as like a short film?
Yeah.
I think it was like his high school passion project that just never got greenlit by anybody.
Mm-hmm. Really? I thought that was Babylon.
Hey, I like Babylon.
He might be the guy who does.
Somebody has to, I guess.
I haven't seen it, so he's a second time director in this. Then he made La La Land, and then he made Babylon. I mean, this movie's no La La Land, but
yeah. So he was 29 when he made this movie, or at least when it released. So it probably like 27, 28 when actually making it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think this is in my top 10 favorite movies of all time, honestly.
Yeah, I'd probably put it top 15, but yeah.
Oh yeah, that's fair. So the reason I love this movie so much is just because when I was in high school, I was really into jazz music, and it's kind of said in the movie that jazz is a dying genre, and I feel like this kind of like gave it a little renaissance when it came out.
I don't know a single person who listens to jazz music, so I'd probably have to disagree with that. Actually,
no, man, I'm an avid jazz listener now because of this movie.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I just saw it a little differently, but I feel like I saw more people at least appreciating jazz music.
Yeah, I appreciate jazz music, but
came out.
I appreciate jazz music, but I'd also rather jab a spork into my ears than listen to it.
I mean, I guess jazz really evolved into hip hop nowadays, anyway. So,
I mean, that's not fair. I like some acid jazz.
I don't even want to know what that is.
What?
You don't know
jazz?
No, you don't know Jamiroquai?
No, I don't.
You don't know the guy who sings what's it called?
I'm going to
Virtual,
right now to look
virtual
up.
Insanity?
No.
Just look up Virtual Insanity by Jamiroquai. I guarantee you've heard it.
Acid Jazz. Virtual Insanity. Hold on, let me. Oh, this song?
Yeah.
All right, I'll have to give Acid Jazz a listen to later. Yeah, it's a great movie. I'll get into more specifics later, but yeah, great movie.
Every time we Fletcher, Ryan takes a shot.
Oh God,
Oh, bro's gonna die.
but he's already dead.
I'm a dead man walking.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah. A certified good movie.
Hey, hold on, don't jump the gun there, pal.
Gun? Is that a Top Gun reference? Because this movie also has Miles Teller. Yeah. I think this is like Miles Teller's third movie, which you'd never be able to tell.
Wow.
Yeah, because he did the Divergent movies, and then
No, that was after this.
no, the first one came out in like 2012.
No, it didn't. I don't think so.
No.
Could be wrong. The only movies
Hold
I
on.
know for a fact he was in before this are Footloose and Project X.
I do remember.
Divergent came out. The first one came out.
They came out the same year.
Yes. Divergent came out earlier in the United States, but Whiplash was revealed at a film festival before. So he probably made Whiplash first, then Divergent.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, Project X. I like Project X, and then the 2011 Footloose incident.
Hey, that movie's not that bad.
It's pretty bad.
I liked him in it, and the guy who played whatever the fuck, what's his nuts? Fucking Ren McCormick, Kenny Wallenwab. He was alright.
Listen, when you have Blake Shelton coming in and covering Footloose, it's not a good movie. They could have just used the Kenny Loggins version, but they had to have Blake Shelton cover it.
Yeah, because it's a country movie now. Yeah.
God, terrible remake. Anyways, let's talk about a good movie instead.
Yeah. So this is my. Yeah, I would say this is still my all-time personal favorite movie. Although I'm kind of going back and forth now between this and Shawshank, but I will still say it is right up there. Like pretty much tied with Shawshank for my favorite of all time. It's been that way for a while. I think I first watched this movie like 3 years ago, and like it clicked right away and instantly became one of my favorites. And just every rewatch just kept getting better. But now it's gotten to the point where I've watched it a lot. That's like maybe it's not. I wouldn't say it got worse. I'm just saying like
It doesn't hit the same.
Yeah, it doesn't hit quite as much. Still hits, but not like it was on the first couple of viewings. But that's always what's going to kind of be like when you just know kind of everything that's going to happen. That's how it is with every type of media. Once you overdo it, then it doesn't hit quite like it did the first few times. But yeah, this is a film. Amazing acting from J.K. Simmons. This is just the J.K. Simmons Glaze episode. And the Miles Teller does a great job too. The dialogue's great. Again, we're going to be quoting Fletcher a lot in this. I think the cinematography is great. I love the lighting in this. Pacing is really good. And, I mean, this overall character is super well written. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm going to get into, but that's just my general thoughts on it. So, yeah, now we can kind of get into some of the other stuff with I guess we can go after like acting first with the cast and all that. And this film's really focused on the characters of Andrew Neiman and Fletcher. It's very focused on their relationship. And so Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons are really the performances that I would want to get into the most. There's some other decent ones here and there, but I mean the supporting characters like Andrew's dad and the girlfriend he has for a couple scenes and then immediately breaks up with. We're all right.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I don't think
agree.
they were bad performances.
No, they were good. I'm just saying they were like pretty insignificant compared to Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons.
I like Melissa Benoist. I think she's a great actress. She had like 10 seconds of screen time.
It was like 2 or 3 scenes.
Yeah, she was in it very little.
I think it was
she had
like
a voiceover.
Yeah, the scenes were pretty much just when she got asked out, they're like only date, and then them breaking up, and that was it for her actual like on screen screen time.
So the girl from fucking Supergirl.
Yes, that is Supergirl.
Yeah.
I think she's a great actress. I liked her a lot.
Yeah, I just don't like Supergirl.
Totally fair, because Supergirl isn't my favorite show either. But
that's fair. But the actress is solid.
Yeah, she's a good actress. Yeah, then Andrew's dad was. I don't know. I remember the first time I watched this probably like 6 years ago now. I just remember thinking like, damn, this guy's kind of a dick.
No, not really. What? Why? I mean, he seems like a nice dude, kind of.
I think it was just the way he went about Andrew's love for music. I'm saying like, man, this guy's just not supportive of his son's dreams at all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it's also kind of hard as a parent when your son has a dream like that, where it's like there's maybe not a great chance of him getting money, and you kind of want to look out for his future in that way. So you get where he's coming from.
Yeah, as an adult now, like as someone who's now an adult, I'm like, yeah, I understand it now. But that was just like my first impression from like I was like 15, 16, like as someone else who was really into music at the time.
Yeah. You also have to see that throughout the movie, he sees like this love of music like continuously like emotionally beating him down.
Yeah.
And that's something where if you're a father, you're gonna obviously if you're a good father, you're gonna want to you're gonna want to step in and like try to like shield your son from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I completely agree with you. Like as an adult, his characterization makes so much more sense to me now.
I just think of him now as the one doctor dude from Stranger Things, in the like last.
Oh my god! Yes, that is him. I was wondering why he looks so familiar to me now.
and I like his character in Stranger Things, so he's cool here too.
Good actor.
Does this mean Fletcher's gonna be in season 5?
That would be so heat if we got J.K. Simmons in season 5 of Stranger Things.
No.
What would he do?
No, not J.K.
Exactly
Simmons.
what he did in Whiplash.
No, not J.K. Simmons. Fletcher.
Yeah, I don't think that would fit into Stranger Things, guys.
He throws a chair at Vecna.
Vecna, were you rushing or were you dragging?
No. Fletcher is just the one who trains 11 to beat Vecna in season 5.
Yeah, he throws chairs
just yells at her the whole time. Yep. 11. Why do you suppose I threw a chair at your head?
Why do you suppose I threw a chair at your head, 11?
No, and then 11 forces the chair back into Fletcher and he fucking dies.
He explodes.
Terrence Fletcher fucking explodes in Stranger Things.
That's an interesting brain rot we're heading into now.
No. I'm calling up the Stranger Things directors right now to pitch this idea for season 5.
Yeah. So guys, I know you're like halfway through making season 5, but I got a genius idea. Also, by the way, there was like I saw some Stranger Things promo for season 5, and they said it's coming out 2025 allegedly. So
so a few episodes ago, some of the movie news was they were going to release a trailer on October 6th or November 6th.
Yeah, there was not a
trailer. The trailer was just releasing the names of the episodes.
Yeah, but I mean, at least it's something. They could have just done absolutely nothing like they've done for the past 2 years.
That is true.
Also, one last piece of movie news that I saw. I know we're far past it now, but now that we're talking about it again, there is a Joker spinoff coming apparently, which I would.
No, there's not. There's not. I saw that earlier. It's Matt Reeves said that it's not happening.
Oh, good.
Okay. I was gonna
We've
be
been spared.
mad about that. I was gonna be mad about that, but after how good the Penguin series has been,
That's fair.
I would have been on board.
Okay, so anyway, back to Whiplash.
Man,
So-
these cuts are giving me whiplash right now.
Yeah, this is an unorganized episode. It's kind of giving you tonal whiplash.
And that was definitely our intention, and we're not just disorganized.
It's Django Unchained, where you go from seeing the brutality of slavery to listening to a bunch of rap music and some jokes about
listening
the
to
KKK.
listening
And
to
seeing
Rick
some
Ross.
guy's penis.
Anyway, back to Whiplash again. So, yeah, I think Miles Teller does a very good job as Andrew Neiman, kind of like just with the change throughout his with his character throughout the film, as kind of goes from being like a little bit shy, kind of humble kid to just being completely consumed by his dream, and and kind of just being influenced by Fletcher he kind of becomes more like Fletcher as the film goes on. Where he starts cussing out other people in the band as and that's kind of with everybody in the band, honestly. As
Fuck up and turn my pages, Johnny Utah.
That's kind of like all the students use all this language that Fletcher does, and just hostile to each other, and it kind of just shows Fletcher's influence on them. And I kind of like how we see that the first time where all the kids in the band come in to the first time Andrew's in the room for studio band, when he's there like 2 hours early because Fletcher pulled a fast one on him and said, "Hey, come here at 6 a.m. on the dot," even though we're coming here at 8. So yeah, that's kind of another subtle way that Fletcher kind of messes with Andrew. He does that a lot. Guys, Fletcher is kind of manipulative. I'm getting that a little bit here.
Guys, I think
just a little bit.
Guys,
this might
Fletcher,
be an abusive relationship.
Guys, Fletcher, I don't think he's a nice guy.
I don't think he's a very good fella.
I don't think Fletcher is one of the nice guys.
This movie, I know Nate doesn't watch sports.
He doesn't know ball.
What do you mean?
Nate doesn't know ball.
Nate calls it sports ball.
they just got a touchdown in the 9th inning.
Hell yeah!
Nate's one of those. Nate goes to a Super Bowl party and says, "Yay, sports ball!" Wait, they just got a home run.
Sorry, I don't really know sports like that.
But I saw this comparison on it was like a YouTube video or an article or something. Fletcher's kind of like a lot like Bobby Knight, like the coach for Indiana, who threw chairs at his players and choked one on several occasions.
Oh, so he's just Urban Meyer?
No, he's worse.
Wait, what was it? Wasn't there some story where Urban Meyer like kicked his leg or something and said like, "Oh yeah, make some field goals, buddy." Yeah, and I'm like, that seems kind of, let's injure my kicker so he kicks better. What?
It was Josh Lambo he kicked.
No, it was Brandon McManus.
No. McManus was their kicker after. It was Josh Lambo.
Yeah, Josh Lambo sucks, so it makes sense why that was the case.
I mean,
anyway,
he wasn't bad at the time. He was an All-Pro.
Nuh-uh. I just remember him on the Chargers, and I just assumed he sucks.
Well, he sucked on the Chargers.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Whiplash.
Once again, whiplash of topics. So, okay, what else do I want to talk about with acting? If anybody else was saying anything. Well, J.K. Simmons was absolutely incredible in this role as Fletcher. His line delivery of these this incredible dialogue written here is fantastic. One of my favorite lines is where he's like, oh, it was, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but it was when Neiman lost the folder, and he's like, why would you give it to Neiman? If you give a retard a calculator, he's gonna try to turn a TV on with it. Then another one when the one kid didn't know he was in the fat guy when he didn't know if he was in tune or not. Elmer Fudd. And he was looking down at the ground. He's like, "What? There's no fucking Mars bar down there. What are you looking at?" And
do you think you're out of tune?
Then why the fuck didn't you say so? Yeah. So
by the way, it wasn't you. It wasn't him that was out of tune.
Yeah,
it was you, Emerson. But he didn't know. And that's worse.
Dude cusses out this one dude and Elmer Fudd and then kicks him out even though it wasn't even in tune.
This movie's supposed to be like an exploration of an abusive relationship, and it's supposed to make you feel bad, but it's just really fucking funny.
Yeah. Neiman's
this movie is really
the main
funny
character.
when you don't. This movie is really funny when you don't think about what's happening to Andrew and you just focus on Fletcher's hilarious lines.
Yeah, Neiman's the main character, but J.K. Simmons absolutely steals the show here.
Yeah, but that doesn't take away from Miles Teller, though. Miles Teller is an extremely good job as Neiman.
I honestly would say they're both the main character. They're both the main character because the movie is their relationship.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's a fair take.
No, guys, this movie is about how I need to work harder and be like Andrew and accomplish my dreams.
Yeah, I'm about to be just like Andrew for this podcast. That's all I'm going to focus on.
Yeah, you're gonna work hard and completely lose myself.
You're gonna work
lose yourself reference.
You're gonna work hard, and we're gonna get 16 views.
Yes.
Hey, Halloween special's popping off though.
Interstellar has 3 views, and it's been out for more than a day.
That's so disappointing.
Oh wow, that was actually a good episode too.
Just ViewBot the episode.
That is so disappointing because I loved Interstellar. I love Interstellar so much, and it's such a disappointing episode to get no views.
Yeah, well, it was a disappointing movie. So
I'll make sure it gets views. I'll talk to my people.
Yeah, Halloween special at 191 episodes. Oh, Interstellar's been out for a day.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, we kind of abandoned the schedule.
Yeah, there is no schedule anymore.
I've just started doing Fridays recently.
So I guess it's coming on Friday, guys. Even though we're recording this on Saturday.
Nate texted me and he's like, you upload the episode yet? And I looked at it and I had just woken up, and I'm like, no. I woke up and then I didn't text him for like an hour, and I'm like, yeah, I got the episode up now. I had just woken up even though I was up, and I just forgot to do it.
That's so based. All right. Anyways, let's get back to the movie before this episode's 3 hours long.
Yeah, because there's actually stuff to talk about with this movie, unlike The Nice Guys and some other things we've done before, where we just barely talk about the movie and goof around. But okay, so yeah, like Ryan said, this movie really is all about the relationship between Fletcher and Neiman, and I guess now we can just fully dive into the writing of the characters. So yeah, Neiman. I mean, I was kind of talking about this a little before, just how influenced he is by Fletcher throughout this whole thing. I mean, he starts out the film like he already has a big dream of becoming a great musician, and throughout it, like we kind of mentioned with his dad not being like that supportive of what he's doing, or I think there's something like at the beginning he's kind of telling him to like the first scene together where he tells him to kind of keep his options open. But immediately after, Neiman's kind of like, oh, I don't want to keep options open or something like that. I don't know. But Neiman's clearly very focused on this one goal of becoming this great drummer, and Fletcher sees that desire and well, he tries to capitalize on it, but not in a great way at all.
What do you mean? He's such a nice guy.
Because Fletcher is
He's a
not
good
one
fella.
of the nice guys.
What do you mean? He's
Fletcher's
such a
not a
good
good
fella.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Neiman has this whole big dream, and like, it was one of my favorite scenes throughout this is the dinner scene where, like what I assume is just some of Andrew's other relatives are um are coming over for dinner, and it kind of just shows how his family really kind of disregards his dream of drumming, really, where we got two other people, which are like his cousins maybe or something like that. I don't think it's really clear who they are, but they both play in division. Is it 2, 3? No, I think it's even freaking Division 3. Yeah, it's Division 3 football, but they're all hyping them up for it, and Andrew calls this out. And another great line in this movie is where the two guys are like, oh, if you think Division 3 football is such a joke, come play for us. And Andrew's like, 4 words you will never hear from the NFL. And so that's kind of and like it's kind of wild how the whole family just completely hyped him up, hyped those two guys up for it, even though Andrew at that point already became a core drummer of one of the best bands in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, they're hyping up their Division 3 football accomplishments. So it kind of just shows how like stuff in the arts, like music or what, and stuff like that, really isn't taken that seriously. But people who will be in like Division 3 football will be all hyped up like that, and that's just a really interesting scene to me. And another part of it I like is where it really gets at the whole like main theme of the film with like the cost of success, and with Andrew kind of be like, oh yeah, I'd rather die drunk and broke and be remembered by people than just be rich and sober and live a long life but have nobody remember who I was. And that just shows how Andrew really doesn't care about what happens, anything else in his life besides for his goal of being great at drumming and being remembered by people, even at the cost of like having some short life and becoming addicted to substances and all that. He'd rather have that than a long and healthy life. And another part of it that's interesting is like where I don't even know who the dude is at the table. He was sitting at the head of the table. I don't know. That might be like his uncle or something. Where he's just straight up like, oh yeah, you got any friends, Andy? And Andrew's just flat out like, nah, I don't see the need for them. It's pretty wild that the dude is so focused on this goal that bro doesn't even want friends. He's just like, yeah, there's no need for them.
You like a friend, or double it and give it to the next person?
So yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes throughout it, and really just shows how desperate Andy is for this. And yeah, I mean, even at the cost of his relationships, like I mean, we could just get into his like one date run with that girl, where for like 20 minutes of the movie they're dating, and then all of a sudden it gets cut off, and it actually seemed like they had something going a little bit in that first date in that scene, but then but it's once you realize how like they're completely different in the fact of like their goals, where Andrew knows exactly what he's doing and has this big dream, and his girlfriend Nicole is kind of just like doesn't really know what she's doing really, and just kind of trying to figure things out. And with how important that career path and dream is to Andrew, like they just couldn't really understand each other. And so I thought that was an interesting dynamic in that whole relationship. And in the breakup scene, Andrew just seems completely cold, just where Nicole is just being like, "Oh, so you just want to break up with me to pursue drumming, and I'm just some girl who doesn't know what she's doing, and you have a plan for your life." And Andrew's just like, "Yep, that's exactly why we're breaking up," and just doesn't care. So
Yeah.
that's another part.
Do you want a second date or double it and give it to the next person?
Yeah. Well, they probably. I mean, I think there was a decent passage of time throughout the between the first date and like the breakup scene and in the actual timeline of the film. But it wasn't that much screen time separating it. But they probably had some other dates. Although I think she does say in that breakup scene, like, "Oh, I barely ever see you anyway." So maybe it was that one date. Who knows? Andrew was too busy drumming and destroying his hands because of it and bleeding.
But he had
Which
L Riz.
Yeah. Now, Andrew might have had W Riz. I can't believe I just said that. Because dude was so consumed with drumming and he accidentally pulled this girl and managed to maintain a relationship even with barely dating.
Like,
So
he was just
maybe Andrew did have game.
no, he was just kind of nonchalant like that.
Andrew was just nonchalant. That's how you pull a woman. Just be nonchalant.
He's kind of just there.
Andrew was a nonchalant dreadhead.
Shake out the dreads, shake out the dreads.
Oh God, I'm getting brain rot sitting here.
Yeah. So that's kind of. So I guess we could go through like the plot scene by scene. Would kind of be a more structured way to go about this. So yeah, I get that's really like the only notes I took is just kind of like the plot, not exactly scene by scene, but pretty much there.
No, I'm kind of rocking with the way we're doing it. It feels very what's the word I'm looking for? Feels very faithful to the movie.
Chance. But I
No,
a lot of
this isn't
Whiplash.
faithful. This isn't faithful to the movie. Nobody's playing drums. Idiot.
Yeah, there's no jazz music. There's no yelling. There's no cussing each other out.
Oh, you want yelling and cussing out?
If you want yelling and cussing out, come watch me and Nate play Fortnite or Call of Duty over on Twitch.
Oh God. Potential stream tonight?
No, maybe, perchance. I love how we say tonight when we're not going to release this video for like a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, it is your episode. I don't need to interject on your plan there.
Yeah. So Nate, get the fuck out of my face before I demolish you.
All right.
Okay. So anyway, yeah. So I could get to kind of going over the plot here. Just because Loki running out of ideas. And I'd like to go see kind of that scene by scene thing, kind of like we did with Interstellar. So we kind of start off with Andrew practicing his drumming alone. This is Andrew's humble beginnings, I guess. And this is where Fletcher notices him, and he asks him to play. But it's implied that Fletcher did not like what he heard, because this dude just walks out right away. In the middle of his playing, he's just like, "Yeah, this kid sucks. Good, I'm done with this."
Did I tell you to stop playing?
Yeah. Well, no. At first, he's like, yeah. So when he's like, "Oh yeah, well, why did you stop playing?" and then Andrew takes that as like, "Oh, okay, so I should keep on playing," and then Fletcher's all of a sudden just like, "Well, why'd you play?" Your response to that was to become a freaking wind up doll and just start playing. So after that, kind of get that first scene with Andrew and his dad watching the movie. Kind of talked about that earlier with what they had there. Then we kind of see Andrew playing on that lower level band, whatever it's called. I don't know the terminology for it, but yeah, he's in the bad band. We can call it that because they kind of suck at they kind of suck at playing. So after we okay, so eventually Fletcher walks in there and kind of has people play for like it's kind of crazy though, because like Fletcher has them play like 2 notes, and then is like, yeah, this will determine if they get into studio band or not. Like he'll literally be like, all right, play for me, and then cuts it off like in 1 second. It's like, dude, that is not enough to know if they're gonna be good enough for studio band, bro. But then Andrew does good enough, I guess. It's kind of funny though. The dude, I believe is Ryan Connolly, which call him Johnny Utah for the rest of this episode. The other drummer, he thought at first that when Fletcher was like, "Oh yeah, drums, come with me," Johnny Utah thought he was coming with him first, and bro was all happy. Then his ass got humbled. So,
His ass
yeah.
got fumbled.
So yeah, because Neiman was the alternate in the trash band, so they did not expect Neiman to go into studio band. Because Johnny Utah was the core drummer in the lower level bad band. So after that, so Andrew comes into. Oh, actually, first Andrew asks out Nicole, and that whole relationship starts where it's about as long as Aaron Rodgers played for the Jets in the 2023 season.
And as long as
And
the
so-
Jets' playoff hopes in the 2024 season.
So yeah,
Sam Darnold's run of good games with the Vikings was longer than this relationship.
Sam Darnold played a good game against the Colts last week for the second half. Let's stop hating on my guy. See, this is why we say Nate doesn't watch sports.
Relationship lasted longer than the Trevor Lawrence hype.
Hey, you know what? You know what the relationship didn't last longer than? The 13 seconds that it took Patrick Mahomes to score a touchdown.
Fuck you! This is my
All right.
Joker. This is my Joker arc.
He's gonna become Terrence Fletcher after this.
You bring up the Bills again, and I will fucking demolish you.
All right, so after that, Andrew comes to the studio band for the first time, like a few hours early, because Fletcher, for some reason, just like, yeah, come here, 6 a.m. on the dot, and that's like, and then the players finally come in at like 3 hours later. So Andrew's just sitting there by the drums for like 2 or 3 hours. So once again, Fletcher just messing with Andrew for no reason, just because he feels like it. So then Fletcher comes in along with everybody else in the band, and they start playing, and they play the. So what do we think of the actual Whiplash song? What the film was titled after? Do we think it's is the song good or not? I want to know the opinions on this.
I don't know. I only get like 10 seconds of it each time.
No, we got no. They played it a little bit in the final scene, I think. Maybe not.
No, that was Caravan.
Yeah,
Shit, that's right.
No,
So, I mean,
as the podcast resident jazz expert, it's a good song.
well, like jizz expert. Am I right?
Stop. Get out.
Hold on. Before we continue, I've got a little response to that. I just need to load it up here for a second.
You need to leave.
Just give me. No, just give me a second. Just give me a second.
When?
Hold on.
That was a second.
No, hold on.
1 second.
We've got an ad.
Oh, you're done.
I'm waiting.
Wow, we waited all that time for that. Get out.
Weird. That kind of sounded like the beginning to the Going Overboard episode.
Oh man, honestly, I've been lying this entire episode. Whiplash sucks, and Going Overboard is still the best movie I've ever seen.
W take.
Anyway,
Letterboxd favorites: Shawshank, Star Wars, 12 Angry Men, and Going Overboard.
Going Overboard.
No, my actual Letterboxd favorites are Going Overboard, The Room, Jason X, and
Dragon Ball Evolution.
yeah. No, Megalopolis.
This movie is like Megalopolis.
All right. Anyway, a tonal whiplash once again. So after we get to hear the band playing the actual Whiplash song, or actually no, during this, he notices there's an out of tune player. We kind of mentioned this a little bit, and so it's Elmer Fudd, and actually,
Tell
well, it's
me
not
it's not you, Elmer Fudd.
and and so he kicks out Mr. Elmer Fudd, and he wasn't even playing out of tune. It was some other dude, and that dude just goes by unscathed. Fletcher just doesn't care, and he moves on. So it kind of just shows that's kind of our first clue that this Fletcher guy is not very nice.
Not a very nice guy.
He's not a very good fella. So after that, so they kind of have like they take a little time to rotate from the core to the alternate for drumming. So Andy's going to be up, and Fletcher's all kind of encouraging Andy, just being like, "Oh yeah, just don't worry about what the other guys think. You know, just go out there and play. You know, we're gonna go lower tempo. It's okay, Andrew." And being all like that, and also another thing that's interesting about when he's talking, we kind of asked him about like if there's any musicians in the family. And Andrew kind of talks about how his mom left him. And eventually, Fletcher uses that against Andrew when when he's crying eventually in the drum set because spoiler alert, things don't go well for Andrew because he's like, oh, who's mommy left daddy when he figured out he wasn't. I forget the name he said, but yeah, I guess I don't know this movie well enough.
Fake fan.
Yeah, you gotta
fake
watch
fan.
it 3 more times before we.
Yeah,
Guys, we're gonna take a 6-hour intermission.
I say 6-hour intermission. Yeah, but so he kind of turns that against him. So it's kind of, yeah, but yeah. Anyway, so after encouraging Andy and just kind of being like, yeah, you know, just go out there and play. It's all right. It's your first time. Just do your best, Neiman. And then so Neiman plays not quite his tempo,
Not
and
quite my tempo.
things don't go well. So at first, Fletcher's being patient with him, seemingly just being like, "All right, you know, not quite my tempo. It's okay. Let's do it again." But eventually, a couple times where he's having to correct him, all of a sudden, then we get to the point where Fletcher hurls a chair at Neiman.
Why do you suppose I hurled a chair at your head, Neiman?
And then he's like, and then it devolves into Fletcher yelling at him, as he so often does. Were you rushing or were you dragging?
Not quite my tempo.
So then Andrew starts crying, weeping all over the drum set. And
I'm upset.
Yeah, Fletcher tells him to yell, "I'm upset" to the entire band. And then Fletcher's just simply after that, just like, start practicing harder, Neiman. And so Neiman takes his advice to heart, and he practices so hard that his hands get all cut up and bloody because he's drumming so hard, I guess. And eventually he gets to the point where he's like, where he has to dump his hand in like a full, think of a glass of water with a bunch of ice in it, just because his hand is so bloody. It's like, bro, okay, this is not going to make you better at playing. All right, geez, like, relax, buddy.
It ain't that deep.
It's not that deep, bro. All right, just
It's not that deep, but
you don't have to. You're not going to become who's the guy they always reference here? Charlie Parker, and in
Buddy Rich.
one little thing, yeah, Buddy Rich.
Mm-hmm. Buddy
They
Holly.
they talk about Charlie Parker. They talk about Charlie Parker a lot. At least Fletcher talks about Charlie Parker a lot, so that's why that was the first thing that came to mind. Where just kind of be like, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to find the next Charlie Parker." I think Fletcher says just scene towards the end where they're at like at that restaurant or whatever at the end, but we'll get to that. And so
we just
eventually
the podcast.
Nicole and Andrew have their first date. They actually have a date, guys. Whoa. And things actually go fairly well. However, like I said, there's a very big difference between between them and for the future. Nicole doesn't really know what she wants to do in college. Meanwhile, Andrew has a pretty solid idea. And that's kind of where the relationship breaks down because of that massive difference. So after that, the band has a competition where at first Andrew's just sitting there as the alternate, not doing anything. Bro's basically just a spectator. Like, why even have him on the stage at that point?
Okay. All right.
I'm a tiny bit confused here, but anyway. So after this, so the core drummer, I forget his name. I think it's like Tanner. That's right. So Tanner gives the folder to Andrew, and Andrew loses it right away. So this is why Fletcher says if you give a retard to a calculator, he's going to try to turn a TV on with it. And Tanner has some I don't really know, some wrong where he can't remember the charts, and he can't know them by heart. He has to look to the charts when he's playing. Meanwhile, Andrew has them memorized by heart because bro practices probably like all day because that's his life.
Buddy's just like that. Yeah.
So Andrew goes and he plays and plays well because they get the award, the first place, I think. After that, the Schaefer Institute is just like the New England Patriots with Tom Brady. They just win every single time. So Fletcher's just Bill Belichick.
Fletcher's Bill Belichick.
Do you understand why I hurled a chair at your head, Edelman?
Brady, do you understand why I just hurled a chair at your head?
Why do you think I just hurled a chair at your head, Tom?
Tom, were you rushing or were you dragging with that read? So, because of this whole situation that happens at this competition, Neiman gets the core drummer part. So I essentially I have another sports analogy of this. Why I don't know why we're talking about sports so much in this, but so I have an analogy here. This is basically like when the starting quarterback gets hurt and the backup quarterback plays him and he earns the job, and the starting quarterback essentially loses it because of injury. So that's
you mean Joe
essentially
Flacco for like the past 4 teams he's played for?
This is like Tom Brady going in when Drew Bledsoe went down.
Yeah. Like Drew Bledsoe, pretty good quarterback, just like Tanner, pretty good drummer, but Andrew's just him. Probably because drumming is his whole life. Like if he wasn't him, then that'd be pretty embarrassing.
Andrew's kind of like, he takes the same approach to drumming that I take to gambling.
He's very dedicated.
No, he's just like you with drinking, not gambling. We know you drink more than gambling.
See, the fact that I'm drinking right now validates the fact that I'm drinking my iced Kahlua coffee right now invalidates your opinion.
So
no, you just proved his point.
Yeah.
No, it's non-alcoholic, of course.
Oh, my bad.
Anyway, after that whole thing, Andrew, so we get to that dinner scene that I talked about, so I'm not going to go over that again, but that was a really good scene, just kind of, again, hitting on like the main theme of the film with Andrew's desire for greatness. And so after that, eventually we get to the point where Fletcher just randomly decides, hey, let's get Johnny Utah as another drummer, try him out for the part. And this dude, so he has him do the double time swing, which is something that Fletcher does a lot too. I mean, actually, it's the reason why Neiman even got into the band, because he played the double time swing well enough to where Fletcher allowed him into the band. And Mr. Johnny Utah does this not as good as Neiman. Like, I'm not a jazz person, but I can tell this dude did not play it at Fletcher's tempo. He did not play as good as Neiman at all. But then Fletcher's just like, perfect, you got the part. And so Neiman's rightfully pissed off at Andrew for this. And so Fletcher also gets pissed off at him too. And part of it is because he just got a call about one of his former students dying. And so after that phone call, Neiman comes in his office and is pissed off at him. But Fletcher's a little more pissed off and tells him if he wants the part, he's got to earn it, which he already kind of did, Fletcher, but okay.
Go off.
Okay, Fletcher, go off. So after that, so Andrew takes that advice to heart, where if he wants the part, he's got to earn it. So he's like, all right, well, my girlfriend's just dead weight, so let me break up with her.
My girlfriend's dead weight is crazy.
That's his view of it, though. That's really Neiman's view of it. Like, bro, it's just like, yep, I gotta focus on drumming. Goodbye. We're done. And so Nicole's just a tiny bit mad at Andrew after this, but not as mad as Fletcher usually gets. So credit to Nicole for keeping some of that anger in. So anyway, after that whole breakup scene, which I already kind of got into a little earlier, Fletcher kind of talks to the band about that former student he had that passed away. And he was talking about how the student was kind of, just really had that type of passion that Fletcher looks for, even though he didn't really play as well. So he's kind of, the student was very much like Andrew. I mean, the story kind of is similar to how Andrew really wasn't the most skilled and talented player, but he had that desire to become great, and that's what Fletcher kind of saw. But we can kind of infer why the student passed away so early, because of they kind of mentioned it later on with the lawyer and all that, where it's just his life got let's just say his life got pretty bad because of emotional abuse, possibly.
Yeah,
We'll leave it at that.
He got a little depressed.
Yeah. I wonder why. So yeah. Yeah, but Fletcher obviously leaves this part out when he's talking to the band, of course, because why would he tell that? Oh yeah, my emotional abuse got this kid dead.
Mm-hmm.
I think he says that that he died in a car crash or something instead of the actual truth. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting that the story is so similar to Neiman, and it kind of just shows the consequences of being so consumed with this type of goal that you neglect your relationships in life, you neglect pretty much anything else to make you happy in pursuit of this whole massive goal of becoming great at this thing. And so Fletcher in this next scene kind of, you could say he's taking out his anger, or you could say that he's trying to find the next player that has that type of incredible passion to become his Charlie Parker, is what Fletcher's always saying, where he's trying to get the next Charlie Parker on his from his band. And so he puts the three drummers, Tanner, Johnny Utah, and Andrew Neiman, through this whole grueling playing session where they play for so long, like probably like an hour or so, of just like doing this double time swing, trying to. I don't. Is it even double time swing? I don't know. I'm not a music guy.
It was a double time swing.
All right, it was a double time swing. So essentially, it's where they're trying to play super fast. In layman's terms, for those. I mean, I guess you would know what it is if you watched the movie, but maybe there's some people that didn't watch it that are still watching this. Which why? So yeah, they're trying to play faster in this double time swing, and Fletcher wants it exactly perfectly. But actually, I don't think that's what he wants. I think he just wants to see who can endure it the longest, pretty much. Because he puts them through this grueling session for a long time, and eventually, Andrew, of course, all of them get blood in their hands from this. But of course, Andrew's used to this type of thing, because this is what is a normal practice session for Andrew, pretty much. So Andrew gets the part after this. because he actually earns the part here. And rest in peace to Johnny Utah's run as the core drummer. Lasted about as long as it's just pull up the Aaron Rodgers meme where he's running out with the flag before the 2023 season. That was Johnny Utah's run as the core drummer. So yeah, that's tough for him. But you know what? I gotta give a shout out to him. He actually seemed like a decent guy. He got a bad rap. Andrew was not so nice to him, which I mean you can get why, but like he wasn't that bad of a dude. It was really Fletcher's fault. So after that gets into a very interesting moment where they have another competition, and Andrew's running late. So because of this, first off, okay, so he gets there like just in time before they're about to play, but he realizes he left his sticks back at the car rental place because like he originally was going on the bus, then it broke down, then he had to, then he was so desperate to get there that he just is like, yeah, let me just go rent a car real quick. So he's able to do that, and he gets there, but he left the sticks back at that place, I think. So
fuck.
Yeah, that's what Andrew was like right when he realized he left his sticks. First off, why the hell could Andrew not have just used somebody else's sticks? Like Fletcher, come on, bro. Like just get him to play. But Fletcher's not like that. That would be
let him cook.
That would be a reasonable thing to do if you were a band teacher. But Fletcher is not very reasonable. So he's like, "Nope, you need your own personal sticks, though, bro. Go back and get them." And this is but before that, so when Andrew got into the place where the competition's being held, him and Fletcher have a bit of an argument, and then this is why we're calling Ryan Connolly Johnny Utah. He's just like, hey, yo, fuck off, Johnny Utah, turn my pages, bitch. So
such a great line.
So yeah, and then after that, so Andrew rushes back to the place where he left the sticks, but he rushes a little too much. See, Andrew was dragging, and now he's rushing. So then he gets into a car crash. He gets absolutely demolished by the semi. But he didn't get knocked unconscious or anything, so he's still alive. But he's bleeding pretty badly. But yet Andrew's like, nah, let me still go here and play. So Andrew, covered in blood, goes and plays at this freaking competition. And obviously it doesn't go well because this dude like nearly passes out trying to play. And so Fletcher stops the music, and he says Neiman's done, and he's getting cut from the band. So Neiman goes ahead and fucking tackles Fletcher.
Man.
Yeah. So Neiman should have played on the football team actually, because that tackling form was incredible.
J.K. Simmons cracked both his ribs, or two of his ribs, when that happened.
Damn, Miles Teller should have played football for real. Prime Ray Lewis that tackle. And so after that, things kind of calm down. The pacing does kind of slow down a bit at this moment, but it makes sense why, because Andrew's finally out of this whole abusive relationship, seemingly. This is where Andrew kind of gets the choice, where he can kind of just walk away from it all and live a normal life and kind of give up the dream, or at least just get away from Fletcher and his abusiveness. But no, that'd be too simple for Andrew. But at first, like right after this whole competition, they did have a scene where it's with the lawyer and Andrew's dad kind of telling him to give his testimony on what happened with Fletcher, and it's all anonymous. So Fletcher didn't know. Well, actually, he did know, but he used critical thinking and figured out it was Andrew, but it wasn't. He didn't explicitly know it was Andrew. That got him out.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah. You think I'm stupid? I knew it was you. So, yeah. that whole thing happens. So Fletcher gets fired. So Andrew now seemingly living, he gets into, I think, like his own place, his own apartment. And then eventually he sees Fletcher playing at like this restaurant or something on the piano, bro cooking. And so Fletcher spots Andrew and they have a little conversation. And it's pretty awkward for Andrew, because what happened before. And this is a great scene where we get some insight into Fletcher, with his character and kind of how he's. One of the great lines from the scene is where he says, "There's no more harmful words in the English language than the two words good job." Just kind of showing like, hey, let's not give my students any approval. Let's just keep pushing them and never encourage them. And that's kind of Fletcher's whole philosophy, where he just says like even with this harsh teaching style, he still thinks that nobody would get discouraged. That he would never discourage somebody who would become great because they'd be so obsessed with it like that. It's kind of just showing again, this is a really good scene, just getting into Fletcher's character and all that, and Andrew kind of challenging Fletcher on some things, especially with the whole thing of like, oh, do you worry if you would discourage the next Charlie Parker? And again, Fletcher just says, the next Charlie Parker wouldn't be discouraged. And so that's Fletcher's whole thing, but he kind of does do it for himself. Let's be honest. He's not doing it for the love of music. He's not doing it because he actually wants to make a great musician. He wants it so it's like, oh yeah, I was the one who helped make this next great musician. I was the one who did this. Like, let's be honest. You're not. Fletcher's not doing it for the love of the game, guys.
That is what I was just about to say.
Doing it for the love of the game is crazy.
But that's kind of also with Andrew, though. Andrew eventually gets to the point where it's like, he's not even really doing this because he loves music and actually wants to make great art. He just wants to become good at it and be remembered. Mm-hmm. So it's this whole dream he has becomes kind of out of vein, and where it's just like, oh yeah, I just want to become great. I don't even want to make great music. I just want to be remembered by people. He's not doing it to make great music. So that's how it kind of consumes him. Because I feel like if he was actually doing it because he wanted to make great music, he would have been able to succeed and would have still had a good life where he wouldn't ignore his relationships so much, to the point where he had no friends, no girlfriend. Dude, Andrew just has nothing besides music in this film. Mm-hmm. Bro gets he loses his girlfriend. He's got no friends. He pushes away his family. He's got no mom, which is tough. And
yeah, that's not on him.
That's not on him. But that's still adding to this. That he's got nobody. He's got money. So all he's got is music, and that's why he kind of turns back to it. Where Fletcher invites Andrew back to some other competition he's got going on, and he's kind of talks about oh yeah, we got some of the old charts, Caravan and Whiplash, but they don't play those charts, guys. Spoiler alert. In the final scene, right before they start playing, this is when Fletcher says to Andrew that he knew it was him, and so Andrew has no idea what he's doing because it's music that he's never played before that they're doing, and bro's just kind of freestyling and trying to make it work, and it doesn't work. It doesn't. So a really interesting moment happens where Andrew is really given the choice to finally leave this whole thing, live a normal life, or go back and succeed at his dream. Because he leaves the stage, goes back and hugs his dad after this, which, by the way, I guess this might be my only tiny complaint. It really doesn't matter, I guess. But it's like, did his dad not really notice when he was at the competition, be like, why is my son playing for this Fletcher dude again? That's a little odd. So that's something that I kind of noticed recently. It was something I noticed on my watch that I had like 2 months back. We kind of noticed why is his dad here? Or why is his dad blending in here? Like what? But so Andrew eventually makes the decision to go away from his dad and to go back to drumming. And essentially, he just completely so he doesn't even let Fletcher go to the next song. He just starts playing Caravan and starts getting him to play that. And this is where a really long scene, but a great scene because it's so great seeing Fletcher and Andrew go back and forth with their whole thing, with Andrew trying to play and get back at Fletcher for this and show how great he is, while Fletcher's pissed off at him for kind of ruining his whole competition. And so eventually Fletcher kind of gets what Andrew's doing and he kind of sees, oh wait, this guy's cooking. But there's a moment kind of before that where there's a great shot where Andrew's dad, I just really like the look that the actor gave, where it just like this look of horror when he sees his son being completely consumed by this ambition. Yeah, where he's playing. I think it's the part where he's just like completely going crazy on the drums, just hitting everything, going super fast. Bro's sweating. Bro's having a whole workout from this, and he kind of just sees like, oh, like I've lost my son. Like that's pretty much what the look is saying there. I just thought that was great acting on his part there. And so, yeah. So after that, Andrew wins Fletcher's approval, where Fletcher kind of gives him a little nod at the end, and then kind of cues in Andrew to finish up the whole song. And then that's when the film ends, and it's an absolutely fantastic ending. Especially that moment with Fletcher giving him that nod of approval. That's kind of what Andrew was looking for, like the entire film. For the first time, Fletcher actually gave Andrew some approval.
It was a good ending. I really liked in this ending the close-ups on Neiman and Fletcher. With the camera, and the camera work all throughout the whole movie was really good. It had a lot of close-ups on the people playing on their instruments. Had a lot of, especially in that last scene, kind of like in La La Land, which makes sense because because Damien Chazelle directed that as well. But the camera like shifting back and forth between Neiman and Fletcher during the whole drum solo. Honestly, I think that was like the characters were great, the pacing was great, but I think the camera work is probably my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, this film was shot super well. I really like the lighting and the color grading throughout this too.
It was a good movie. I do like how a lot of movies that involve music, they kind of cut away to the actor when the instruments are playing, and they just do a close up on the instruments. But like there's a lot of zooming out, and it really showed Miles Teller's dedication, where he actually learned how to play the drums to a certain amount.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive, especially with like some of those intense scenes where they gotta play really fast, and especially the ending scene where he's got to play so much.
Yeah, overall, I think Noah, you hit on a lot of it, but there's just so much about this movie that works so well. Yeah, I don't want to take over here. I don't know if you had anything else to say.
I mean, the reason why this is up there for my favorite movie of all time is just this film really has everything I like in a movie. It's got fantastic cinematography and color grading. It's got amazing characters. It's got a great script with fantastic dialogue. It's got great pacing. It's a very good length for a movie too, where it's not too short, but it's not too long either. Just the perfect length that it needed to be. And incredible acting. Like pretty much everything that I like in a movie is in here.
Yeah, everything. I agree with everything you said. There's not a single scene here that feels like it overstays its welcome. I know, Ryan, you said you thought the drum scene at the end it kind of goes on a little bit too long, which is fair.
Just a little bit, not like a crazy amount. it's just kind of a lot, but like not even in a bad way. It's just like I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a longer scene.
Yeah, I don't really know how to explain it. Maybe I'm just too like ADHD brain to pay attention to a scene for that long.
Yeah, I genuinely think there's not a single scene that overstays its welcome.
Uh-huh.
And I remember the first time watching this. I didn't bring it up during this segment, but when he gets hit by the car during this, like on his way to the second competition, I first time I watched this, I remember sitting there like my heart was pounding. Like
Mhm.
every single scene almost feels so intense,
Mhm.
but it's done in such a good way. I don't know. I don't know if I'm explaining that
No,
in a good
I
way.
I get what you're saying.
Like every scene is intense, but it doesn't feel too intense.
Yep.
But yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I think we're just about hit on like everything here, and also yeah, we've been going about an hour and a half. All right, that's a good length for this episode. I mean,
We don't want to be longer than the
yeah.
movie.
Yeah, that's a strict rule. Don't go longer than the movie. We almost did with Shawshank.
Yeah, Shawshank was
But,
close.
yeah.
I mean, this one's getting close too.
Yeah, this movie's
This
about
one,
hour 48 minutes.
yeah, I think we're about the same distance away from
Mhm.
each.
Yeah, I feel like Shawshank just got a lot more going on too. Whereas I feel like this is a little more simple, I guess. Which is fine, especially for both. You know,
I
they
think it's
work well. They try
a
to do.
simple story, but
Yeah,
tonally and like the overall tone, I feel like is more complex.
yeah, definitely. It's like the themes are complex, but the story itself is not really that complex.
Yeah, well, shout out to Damien Chazelle because if he's able to do that with such a simple story, like I don't know if what he's done recently, but I'm excited to see whatever his next project is. If it's
The
gonna be
only
like
thing,
this.
this movie came out 10 years ago. His
Yeah,
most recent thing was what the fuck am I trying to
was
say?
it Babylon?
It was Babylon, yeah.
I wonder if he's working on anything.
He doesn't have anything announced, but probably most directors normally are always working on something in one way or another.
No, bro, just sitting on his butt doing nothing.
I was just playing some jazz.
Honestly, W Mans.
They made both La La Land and this. Although actually, I've seen La La Land. Little confession, but
Well, it's great.
It is good. I saw it once. I'll probably rewatch it again. Probably add it to the watch list for this month.
yeah.
I'm sure we'll end up doing an episode on it. So.
Mm-hmm. And maybe if we do a musical month one day.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to do.
Tick Tick Boom, La La Land, and Hamilton.
I'm not
What about
watching. I'm not watching Hamilton on Disney Plus again.
That will be my pick
no,
every month.
Joker 2 for the bad movie?
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I think we're about ready for final thoughts here.
Yeah. All right. If you want, one of you two want to get into it right away.
Ryan, kick us off here.
I give this a certified good movie out of 10. No, I give this movie probably a 9.5, 9 between 9.4 to 9.6, somewhere in there. When I write my letterbox review, I will give it an actual final score. But that range, I love this movie. This was the first time I'd seen this movie since high school. When I didn't like it as much. I still gave it like an 8.6, but I didn't like it as much as I did this time. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. Great movie. We're continuing our generational run of good movies. So hopefully that continues on to next week.
Yeah, I agree. And for long-time listeners, this is our 20th episode now at this point.
No, this is episode 16.
No.
16?
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah,
17,
so we've done
17 if you count Jason X.
Yeah, we'll count Jason X. Yeah, so we've done 17 episodes, and anybody that's listened knows how much music and the score means to me in a film, and I think this does it really well. It's a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy and the James Gunn Suicide Squad, where it's integrated into the plot in such a good way, or it's a plot device, not just an emotional thing, and I think I like that. And I think it's done very well. The pacing was great, as we talked about. There's no scene that really overstays its welcome. And then, of course, this whole episode has just been J.K. Simmons glaze, but he deserves it because his performance was fantastic. Overall, I would give it a 4.5 stars. I gave it a 9.6 out of 10.
So, obviously, I really like this movie, if you couldn't tell already. I wrote an absolute yap sesh on Letterboxd, so if you want to go see that, you can go see it. I mean, okay, as my most recent entry, I didn't do that. My most recent entry that I just put for Whiplash, I just basically put a link to the review on it, just because I covered so much in that first one. But yeah, overall, I mean, again, this film is everything I love in film and everything I value with, especially with the characters and dialogue. There's just two things that are just so important to me. That's why I like Tarantino's movies so much. And yeah, this film was absolutely incredible. I mean, not really any complaints besides that little, very minuscule one with Andrew's dad in the final scene. So that's why I give it a 10 out of 10. And again, I've kind of been going back and forth between this or Shawshank as my favorite movie of all time. So I'm just gonna call it a tie, pretty much. But yeah, both movies are incredible, and I'm glad I've gotten to do both movies here on this podcast. So yeah, certified good movie on here.
Good movie.
Yep, 10 out of 10 for me. The second time on this podcast I've given something a 10, and it's one of the 11 movies I think on my Letterboxd that put it as a 10 out of 10, 5 stars. Or actually some of those 5 stars are 9.8 though, so it might be one of 8 movies that I've given a 10.
Yeah, that's fair. I do think it is kind of insane how the only movie we've all agreed on being a 10 out of 10 is Shawshank.
Yeah, because come on, it's Shawshank. Obviously it's 10.
Fair enough. Yeah, Whiplash, certified good movie.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's all we got here for this episode. So who's in the outro?
Join us next week for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah.
And then possibly Dragon Ball Evolution as well.
Possibly if we can double dip record this week or next week.
The generational run might end pretty soon.
Generational run doesn't count for bad movies.
Yeah, actually, Dragon Ball, if it truly is that as bad as the people on Letterboxd say, with it being the lowest rated movie on all of Letterboxd,
it might
then
be
the generational run continues. Yeah, the generational run includes generationally bad movies.
That's fair. Oh, the first review I see on Letterboxd for Dragon Ball. Wow, just wow. I just kami-ami-odd in my pants after watching this masterful adaptation.
But it's literally a 0.9 at Letterboxd. I think it doesn't even get to a 1.
Yeah, that's bad. We'll probably do another watch along for that, just because I would probably kill myself if I had to watch this movie alone.
Yeah, I think we gotta get our Logan, our friend who actually knows Dragon Ball stuff, because we don't much at all.
Oh yeah, we got Logan will definitely be a part of that. But yeah.
If we can get him for the watch along, or at least if we do a separate episode, we gotta at least get him for something to get some Dragon Ball knowledge.
Or we could watch The mean one, the Grinch movie.
No, that'll be next
That's
month. That'll be
Christmas.
December.
The Christmas stuff is not allowed in November. For the PSA, Christmas music is not allowed until after Thanksgiving, at least.
Yes.
Agreed. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up.
Mariah Carey, you can stop. Just wait a couple more weeks.
Yeah, you can slow down the defrost a little bit.
Exactly. But go back in the freezer for a couple more weeks.
Go back in the freezer. All right, but yeah, before we get too brain rot here, I think that's gonna end us off for this week. Yeah, thanks you guys for listening.